I'm telling you, you never stop spending money as an adult. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Harleigh if you're new here, and in this video I'm going to be doing a home ownership update, Q&A, all the tea, sharing my bills kind of vibe video. At the end of May last year, I purchased my first property at 24 years old. I made a video all about that, so if you haven't seen that by any chance, that video is up on my channel. And that video covers the entire process of buying the flat, all the costs, the steps, just everything to do with buying the property. And this video is kind of going to pick up where that video left off. I now have a bit more experience, well, I now have experience in being an actual homeowner, living here, paying bills, and yeah, I'm just going to share that with you guys today. There are timestamps in the description of this video for the things I'm going to be talking about. I'll also put it on the screen at the moment as well, so just so you have a general idea of what's coming up. I opened up a bit of a question and answer forum for my YouTube community and also over my Instagram, so I'm going to put those up kind of as and when they feature in the topics that I've planned, and then at the end just cover any questions that I haven't answered. So just to recap, I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom flat in Greater London. It has a parking space in a private car park and also has a private gym in our building. Any more details that you want about the property or area or why I purchased here, please refer to the other video, but from this point we're going to be referring from the purchase point onwards. A question I've got so many times, and also just from talking to people in real life, is about unexpected costs. Unexpected costs, unexpected costs. There are so many that I'm actually just going to talk through a lot of costs, and anything that's unexpected I will mention. But I would say for me personally, it wasn't so much that things were unexpected, is that I under budgeted. So I expected to pay for things, but I didn't expect them to cost so much, if that makes sense. So I didn't have any real out of the ordinary bills or crises or anything like that so far, touch wood. But certain things definitely cost more than I thought they would. And also, before all the mathematics warriors start jumping in the comments trying to calculate how I afforded everything, I did not pay for all of these things at once, okay? All the costs I'm going to talk about renovations. I was renovating for about 3, maybe 4 months before I actually moved in, from May all the way through to August. I also definitely had to call upon American Express once or twice to, you know, put things on my credit card to pay ahead for them. And I have been lucky enough to be earning and working completely normally throughout this entire pandemic. So yeah, don't worry about that. I've paid for it. Everything is paid off. I'm not in any debt due to any of these costs. So day one, you arrive in your new flat, you pick up your keys, but they're not your keys. They're the old owner's keys, and potentially old tenants, plenty of tenants depending on the type of property that you're purchasing. They're not your keys. So the first thing that you are tasked with, and the first immediate cost before you put a single one of your precious items in your new property, is changing the locks. My front door has 2 locks on it, and I was able to replace these locks myself. When I say myself, if I mention that I did any of this work myself, my dad did it, but my dad was able to change those 2 locks, and I just picked up 2 locks from B&Q, and that came to £82. So day one, just to replace the locks, to get in here, for myself to feel safe in here and secure as my own, £82. A lot of people think they want to take on a fixer-upper as it will reduce the initial purchase price, and if that's your plan, absolutely, that's fine by you. This place was not a fixer-upper. It was not decorated to my taste, but no real renovations had to occur. The most I had to do was get a new kitchen, which you can kind of see in the background, and I also have another video on that. But other than that, the entire place just needed stripping and repainting and refurnishing, just decor. I have my laptop on my lap, by the way, in case I keep looking down, but I've got all the numbers because there are so many. So on my spreadsheet, I have paint costs totaling £192. And yes, I did keep a spreadsheet of all the costs and all the budgeting and everything like that. So this was just paint because, again, Dad DIY painted this entire place for me, did a lot of the work. So just consider that for some things, there will be additional labor costs that you need to pay for. But out of my pocket, I paid £192 on paint. That was for this whole living and dining space, all the ceilings, all the skirting boards, the hallway, and the 2 bedrooms. The 2 bathrooms were tiled, they're fully tiled, so only the ceilings needed painting in there. I would say add like £20 to £40 even if you are going to do it yourself, just because my dad did have all the kit, like every brush, every roller and everything like that, but I'm sure he would have picked up like an extra little gloss paint that wouldn't have been like in my mindset. So around £200 on paint, just paint. I did change the flooring in both the bedrooms. They're both around 3 meters by 3 meters. My bedroom's a bit bigger. I think it's like 3.6 by 3.5 or something like that. But the carpeted room cost around £180 for carpet, underlay and fitting. I'm happy with the quality of the carpet that I got, and we'll link the shop that I got it from in the description. It was a black owned company in East London. And then for the bedroom, we actually bought the kind of slot together, the DIY friendly wooden flooring that my dad and his friend fitted. But the actual flooring and the underlay, it's like requires a special kind of underlay. That all came to £210.32, and that was all from Wix. So just for anyone who's watching from across the pond, I do have a little bit of a US audience, and a lot of people on my other video were considering moving to the UK from the US. But just so that it's clear, all of these kind of places that I'm talking about, Wix, B&Q, Homebase, they're all the kind of equivalent of the American Home Depot. Nothing I'm talking about is like luxury or high-end at all. They're all very much DIY stores. So these parts of decor were obviously always intended and pretty well budgeted for, but there were certain areas that I under budgeted for, so you can consider the following ones potentially unexpected costs depending on the type of property that you get. So the old plug sockets and light switches were a little bit damaged. Some of them showed a little like signs of where they'd painted. There was like flecks of the old color paints and stuff on them. So I just wanted them all to be replaced and to all match. So I needed 9 double sockets, just like common sockets, and 2 light switches for the living room. I also needed 2 fuse switches, which is the type that you put like on the kitchen wall for your cooker and your hood and things like that. So just those switches all together came to £148.71. Again, I got those from Screwfix, which is a kind of trade come DIY electrical and building retailer. I had always intended to change the spotlight fittings, which are in here in the hallway and in the bathrooms. They were just old. They were like a white plastic that had yellowed over time. Again, flecks of paint from, you know, previous owners doing decor and things like that. But in total, I had 27 spotlights to replace. So I had to replace 27 spotlight fittings and 27 light bulbs. And it was the light bulbs that really shocked me here. So both of those fittings and light bulbs came to £204.63. So that was just for there to be light. My kitchen is my passion place, which you can see a little bit in the background, and I have a whole separate video on. And I got a brand new kitchen, a very similar layout to the kitchen that was there originally, but it just makes more sense for me. I had the cabinets basically heightened and pushed more towards the ceiling to allow for a bigger workspace. I added like a spice rack, just little things. So my kitchen, it came out to around £3,500-ish. Full transparency, my mum paid for that. I turned 25 around the same time that I was moving in here. I was moving out, and she basically told me don't ever ask her for anything ever again. So my mum paid for my kitchen. The things that I had to pay for in addition to finishing the kitchen were tiles, grouting, obviously all my finishings. But in terms of appliances, things that I wanted, I paid for a new dishwasher from John Lewis, which was £325. It's a half-size dishwasher. I think they call it a slim dishwasher, which is perfect for 1 to 2 people. I got a new sink for the kitchen, which was £60, and a new oven, which was £379 from AO. I actually have an AO discount code, and that will be in the description, along with a few others I have for various home decor appliances, Swoon, and yeah, some others. Those are just kind of the costs associated with moving in, getting this place to a livable condition for me and to my taste. I'm not going to go through every single cost of decor in here. I did do a flat tour video where I practically linked like everything I bought in the description, so if you want to have a nose around or look at prices of individual things. But again, that's very subjective. If you want to have, you know, a better microwave or a bigger oven or no dishwasher or a KitchenAid mixer or not, that's your decision. But I would say the price of paint across the board, it's pretty much going to be the same. Kitchens, there are many options, so many companies. Mine is from Ren Kitchens, but found it pretty competitive. So yeah, I kind of just want to go with the costs that are across the board, and then it's really up to you how you want to really decorate your place. I still went for the IKEA set of plates, bowls, mugs, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Amazoned myself some of my electricals, my toaster and things, but that's all in the other video. Bills. I had one Q&A response that said, show us them bills, sis. So there are a variety of bills, so much so that I'm going to read this list. So the bills I pay here on a monthly basis are gas, electricity, water, internet, home insurance, mortgage and council tax. And then I pay ground rent annually and the maintenance service fees for the building biannually, so twice in a year. And just a reminder again, it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, but I live here by myself. So I pay £24.15 a month for gas, and I pay £34.65 a month for electricity. That is because I have a direct debit set up with my provider so that I pay a fixed amount every single month. But I also submit meter readings quarterly, and basically what happens is they just rebalance the amount I actually use against my bill and then work out from there. So even though I've been paying £58.60 a month since June, I'm actually £69 in credit, which is what I've overpaid based on my actual usage. So I'm £69 in credit with gas and £21 in credit with electricity. My parents warned me ahead of time that, you know, your usage goes up and down throughout the year. We've just come out of, or have we even come out of, a very cold, long winter. So I've had the heating on all the time. So obviously my gas usage did go up. So I was in about £90 of credit, I think, in around October. So I have been eating into that credit the more I've been using over the winter. So I'm comfortable with this way because it ensures that I pay the same amount every month and I can budget for it, rather than, you know, my bill in the summer be £20 a month and me be like, oh, bills are £20 a month, and then Christmas come and my bill is like £70 a month. Because that is not what you want, like at the end of the year or at any time of the year, to be hit with an unexpected cost. Water, it is £27 a month. It is what it is. I'm not on a water meter here, so I just pay a bill based on the number of people that live here. I think that's it. I just pay £27 a month. For internet, I have Fab Fibre by Now TV. It works out at, I think, £24.50 a month, something like that. I don't have a need for like TV packages, so I don't have Sky or anything like that. Council tax, I pay £108 a month. But the first and last, or first or last month of the schedule is going to be £124. I think it's just how they split it equally, and then one is uneven. I really don't know. So council tax, as I mentioned in my first video, is completely unavoidable. You have to pay it from literally the second that it's yours. It will be the first letter that you receive as a homeowner. The first thing that's going to come through the door is a bill, I promise you. I do have a single person deduction on my council tax here, so that is something that you should check if the local authority that you're moving to offers. So my last monthly payment is obviously my mortgage. It's not a number that I'm giving you just because it doesn't matter. Like, and I think a lot of people were commenting on my last video saying, oh, she didn't say how much property costs, but like, it doesn't matter, because the thing about your mortgage and the thing about the purchase price of property that you're going to go for, it's about your affordability. As I mentioned at the beginning, in terms of any renovations, all of these costs, like, I have paid for them fully. I'm not in any debt. Obviously I have a mortgage, but I'm not in any debt or out of pocket or not managing my repayments in any single way. So for me to say, you know, my mortgage is X a month or it's Y a month, it doesn't help you gauge anything. Mortgages as a whole, like each individual mortgage product, can be so different depending on your interest rate, your deposit, who you are, if you have a good credit score or not. Some things are just not going to be available to you, so I don't think it's very helpful for me to share that. If I'm wrong, argue about it in the comments, and maybe I'll pin a comment if people really want to know. But I'm telling you, it's not useful information for people that are budgeting, because if I tell you your mortgage is X amount and you try and get a mortgage and your repayments are going to be twice that amount, don't come for me. In terms of mortgage payments though, I did get a question, which is, are you making overpayments on your mortgage? And no, I'm not. I intended to start making overpayments a year in, which would be from June 2021, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to do that. Again, it comes down to your personal situation. I don't know if I'm going to be in the financial position to pay any more on my mortgage without there being a detriment to either my lifestyle or anything else that I'm saving for. But just so that you know and understand, mortgages have overpayment clauses and small print around them. So my mortgage allows me to overpay up to 10% per year without any fees. It's mad. Like, if you literally win the lottery tomorrow and you're like, oh, I just want to pay off my mortgage, the bank is going to fine you. The bank is going to fine you, because it works as that basically you've told them you're going to be giving them a certain amount of money for 25 years or 35 years. And they're like, okay, cool. They've made plans on that too. You know, they've made investments and stuff in the background, how banks work. So if you come blow it out the water and be like, actually, I'm done here, they're going to penalize you for that. I am nowhere near ready to be making over 10% repayments on my mortgage. So I think I'm just gonna stick to the regular amounts for now. Hi, Harleigh in the edit here. I basically realised that I missed out like a massive chunk of the notes that I'd made, which were basically about maintenance fees and other important things. So just imagine this is like one seamless video. So I had a question that was, so maintenance fees, what are they? Do you have any power to protest them? So no, they are a condition of your purchase. So from pretty on in my purchase, my solicitor was actually speaking with the owner of this flat and also the owners of the development. So the purchase price of the flat, I was negotiating with the old owner, but the service agreements around living in this development are fixed. So if you don't want to pay the maintenance fees, then you don't want to live here. And this is a big point of shopping around. Like, it's something that you can very much hunt around for because they do vary so much. So my service charge for the year is £1,450, and I pay half of that in June and then half in December. I'm fine with that because, as I said, I have a private gym here, private car parking, locked private car parking. The building is cleaned once a week. We have a small amount of grounds which are also maintained. The windows are washed every quarter. They are responsible for giving us meter readings, all those kind of things. So to me, it's like reasonable, and compared to the other properties I saw with service charges that were much higher where you weren't actually getting any service. It also goes into a pot, so if there's anything that happens for the building, each resident doesn't have to get called upon to necessarily pay for that. The service charge is to cover any building expenses. Another question around this was how we found the management company. I've been quite lucky because my management company is actually run by somebody who owns a flat in this building, so they have a vested interest in obviously everything being run smoothly. And yeah, I've been quite lucky in that aspect. My ground rent also is paid to the owners of the development, so not even to the management company, but just another fee, and that is £235 a year. Again, I found that really, really reasonable compared with the other properties that I was looking at. So yeah, these fees do vary quite a lot. So if you are looking to buy, those numbers that I found reasonable, but I saw a lot higher. But yeah, edit Harleigh out. Some of your other questions that didn't really fit into the boxes that I was planning to talk about are, would you still choose to buy a flat if given the chance for a do-over? And my answer is yes. I have really enjoyed the process and I love living here. I love living by myself. I love the freedom that I have in my own place. In hindsight, which obviously you never have, but would I recommend doing it in the middle of a pandemic or at the start of a pandemic? No. The end of that question was generally anything you would do differently if given the chance. So not really, but that's because I've taken my time. Like, I've not really done anything that I would want to do differently. I've really thought out every single thing that I wanted to do. I was Pinteresting the decor for this flat for like the flat, for about a year and a half before I found it. So I had a really clear idea of what it is I like and what it is I want. Another question, how long do you think it would be until possibly buying again? Well, the return, or the imminent return, of the 5% mortgages has made things tempting. It really has made things tempting. The 5% mortgage scheme is definitely appealing for me to potentially buy another property to maybe add to a portfolio in the next 5 years. But in terms of me moving, I'm very happy here. I'm very happy here. I haven't even finished decorating the place. I still have nothing on the walls. So yeah, it's not something that I'm really rushing into for myself. I have already started resaving for my next big purchase, whatever that might be, if that is another property. Yeah, kind of within the next 5 years, but honestly, no rush, no promises, I don't know. Another one was, when is the right time to start looking at houses? And honestly, I know I've said this a fair few times now, but it's so personal to you. If anyone tells you, and they will, and estate agents will as well, oh my God, estate agents will, they will tell you like, oh, this is the right time, this is the perfect time, it's a good time to buy, it's a good time to be looking. They're salespeople. At the end of the day, they are salespeople. So don't let anyone pressure you into, you know, it being the right time or a good time to buy a particular house. If it's for you, then it's for you. If it's not, it will pass you by. I think that's all the questions that I wanted to answer, but it does roll nicely into just some advice and some tips that I wanted to give, which was, don't let the pressure of buying young make you do something you're not ready to do. As I've said, I'm very comfortable making the repayments that I make. I'm very comfortable living here by myself. I'm very comfortable managing the things I have to manage as a homeowner, and I have the family and friends and support system around me to enable me to do that. Don't let society, my videos, me, anything else that you may see on the internet, estate agents, pressure you into thinking that it's the good time, it's the perfect time. It has to be the right time for you. It is a huge responsibility. If you saw my last video, or one of my last videos, I literally had a power cut in the middle of making the video, and stuff like that happens. Like, I had no power for about 5 hours that day. I had to think on my feet in terms of saving my food. I had to have somewhere else to go. I had to, you know, call the power board. I had to call my provider. I've still had to, you know, send a few follow-up emails around that. It is a huge responsibility, just managing your own finances on this scale as well. And my last piece of advice, my segues are smooth today. My last piece of advice is to automate all your payments. Pretty much all my bills are direct debits. It kind of works in my favor because I actually get cash back on direct debit payments to the Santander 123 account. Plug, Santander, sponsor me. I have your mortgage and your current account and I'm here. Run me my peas. Anyway, I have all my bills direct debited. I don't have to forget any of them. I don't want any penalties for not paying them. I don't want anyone knocking at my door. I don't want anyone cutting off the lights. Definitely recommend that. And I would definitely say get your head around financial management as a whole. Like, yes, all these bills are happening, but that's not the end of your life. Like, the end of your life is not just your bills. The other costs that I haven't even touched upon in this video, and I can do if you want me to, are like the costs of living, you know, like how much dishwasher tablets cost before you go and buy a dishwasher. Like how much dishwasher tablets, salt, and rinse aid cost every month collectively before you go buy a dishwasher. Can you afford that additional associated cost with the thing that you think you want for the lifestyle that you think you want? I'm telling you, you never stop spending money as an adult. Ever, 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 ever. So that is everything I wanted to address in this video today. If you have more questions, which I'm sure people do, leave them in the comments. I try and stay on top of the comments as much as I can across all my videos, so let's keep chatting down there. Like this video if you've enjoyed it, and let me know what else you want to see in terms of property, home ownership, or just anything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.